Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavati Namastu Mavi Vishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavad-pada Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashya-kritau vande Bhagavantau punah punah. O Ramachandra. So, what we are doing is this Dhyaropabhavadanyaya. If one follows it correctly, if one sees it in one's own experience, if one sees it, this Dhyaropabhavadanyaya, if it is followed as very intimate, it is something that's happening very intimately, that is within one's anubhava, intimately, then it brings the truth. It makes the truth understood, like even karatala malakam, like even a berry on your own hand, how you can't miss. A fruit on one's own palm, how one can't miss. In that manner, well, one can't fail to understand the truth if the Adhyaropa Apavada Nyaya is properly understood and followed. Nor there is any other alternative path. There are not many paths leading to the same goal kind. There is no such a thing. So now, how does this Adhyaropabhavadanyaya work? Work means, how does this method, how is this method, conveyed? How is it followed? That is said here. Pratyastamida sarva viseshepi sarvatmatvena nityapraptepi cha brahmani Apyatvam shrutishu kutrachit adhyaropya jnanatirikta sadhana prapyatva ashanka apodhyate. So that we have seen. So, even though Atma is nitya praptam, but yet we say Brahma vida apnohati param, we say, the one who comes to know Brahma, he gains Brahma, gains Param. So we impose upon Brahman as something to be gained through knowledge. You see, Brahma vid apnoti param. Jnana prapyatvam. Jnana prapyatvam is adhyaropitam. And by showing that the Brahman is jnana prapyam, it is something to be gained through knowledge, what we are doing is negating that it is karma prapyam. See, very important. The bhranti gets torn off if a person is serious. Why? Because we as jivas always want to gain everything through karma. See, I want to accomplish through effort. I have to reach it. I have to create it, modify it, purify it, whatever it is. So, jnana prapyatvam is adhyaropitam. And therefore, this particular vakya, Brahmavid apnoti param. The one who knows Brahman gains the param, the Brahma, the mokshamiti. That jnana prapyatvam is from adhyaropa drishti. It is adhyaropitam. What is adhyaropitam will be negated later on. Through apavada par vakya. But even this adhyaropanam of jnana prapyatvam does negate an error. What does it negate? Karma prapyatvam. And then we also negate that it is not even jnana prapyam, it is nitya praptam. That it is nitya praptam negates jnana prapyatvam. See? It is nitya praptam negates jnana praptam. That is apavada. Therefore, when we say it is nitya praptam, it is swataha siddham, this particular vakya, this swatah siddhatvam, this particular statement talking about the self as swatah siddham nitya praptam, is meant to correct the idea that it is something to be gained through jnana. In the same manner, moksha. Vastu is moksha anyway. If the Atma is really something that is neither karma prapyam and nor is it jnana prapyam, in the same manner moksha is neither karma prapyam, but to begin with we say it is jnana prapyam, moksha, and then we say moksha is nitya praptam. Then what does jnana do? Only negate the bandhanam, not give us praptiya, moksha. So now things fall in their place. That means jnana is not really creative of the vastu. Jnana is only corrective of the error about the vastu. Now see, this is adhyaropavadanya. See, adhyaropitam. Jnana prapyatvam is adhyaropitam. And jnana prapyatvam negates karma prapyatvam. Evam vachit, all at a time. You need not go in a hurry. All at a time. Evam vachit jneyatvam adhyaropya brahma atirikte vastuni jneyatvam abhodyate vachit tasminneva jnatritvam adhyaropya jneyatvam apahnuyate. Evam, in this manner. Pachit kahi jneyatvam adhyaropya. So we say that Brahman is jneyam, it is not heyam, it is not upadeyam, but it is jneyam, it is something to be understood. Jneyam yattat pravakshyami yajñātvā amritam ashnute, Bhagavan says. Jneyam yattat pravakshyami, I am going to talk to you, Arjuna, what is to be understood. Yat jnātvā, having understood which. Jnātvā amritam ashnute. one gains eternity, one gains moksha. See, there is so much of adhyaropanam there. Jnayatvam is adhyaropa drishti. Amritatvam ashnute, he would gain amritatvam. Therefore, even the prapyatvam of the moksha is also adhyaropa drishtya. Otherwise, it is nitya siddham. The knowledge of the truth is not going to make it more evident than what it is. Understanding doesn't make it more evident. The sense of one's existence cannot be enhanced by understanding. So knowledge can only remove adhyasa. Thus, see, evam kvachit jneyatvam adhyaropya, having imposed the jneyatvam. What does it negate, that jneyatvam? Brahma atirikte vastuni jneyatvam apodyate. It negates that there is no other jneyam. If Brahman is jneyam, then there is no other jneyam. That there is something else to be understood. If Brahman is jneyam, means what? Nothing else is jneyam. Nothing else is jneyam. Because Jiva always thinks that there are many things to understand in life. There are so many topics, and then I have to, divide my time and attention to grasp every topic, and therefore I must really master so many topics. This whole prapancha with so many topics in it is all adhyasta about the Anantam. Therefore, when we say Brahman is the Jneyam, what does it correct? Brahma atirikte vastuni. Brahma atirikte vastuni means, atirikta means something else. Brahma atirikte vastuni means what? In something other than Brahman. Atirikte saptami vastuni saptami. Brahma atirikte vastuni means in something other than Brahman. Jneyatvam, that it has jneyatvam. Apodyate is negated. When we say Brahman is jneyam, it is meant to show that it is meant to correct. Nothing else is jneyam. Nothing else enjoys the status of being jneyam, the subject matter. We are able to follow. If Brahman is jneyam, adhyaropanam also does correction, then there is correction of adhyaropanam. This particular thing you have to follow. Adhyaropanam does one correction. And then there is another vakya which does the correction of adhyaropanam. What is adhyaropanam here? Like jnana prapyatvam is what? Adhyaropanam. And that adhyaropanam does one correction. What is that? Karma prapyatvam. And that very adhyaropanam is also corrected by another vakya by saying it is nitya praptam. When we say it is nitya praptam, what does it correct? Jnana prapyatvam. That is called neti. This is called neti. Neti means naidam. That naidam is just an approach. So, there is adhyaropa, shastram does the, therefore that adhyaropanam who is doing jnana prapyatvam? Shastram, that is why it is called shastra kalpitam. Shastram posits jnana prapyatvam. And by doing that adhyaropanam, it is doing some correction. What is that? Karma prapyatvam. Now, jnana prapyatvam cannot be an attribute of vastu. If it is jnana prapyatvam, then it is a contradiction. If it is prapyam only after jnanam, then what happens? Then how can I get the knowledge unless it is already it is evident? Jnanam cannot make it evident. Jnanam cannot make it existent. Therefore it is nitya praptam, correct? Jnana prapyatvam. Are you able to follow? Jnana prapyatvam correct? Karma prapyatvam. And another vakya comes and negates jnana prapyatvam. Even though jnana prapya, vastu is not jnana prapyam, adhyasa about the vastu is correct. Therefore, jnanam is not doing the prapti of the vastu. Jnanam is only doing the correction of the vastu. It is not doing any prapti. Similarly, jneyatvam is adhyaropanam in the vastu. And this jneyatvam, Brahman, jneyatvam, when we impose upon Brahman, then there is a correction of something else being jneyam. That's the topic. That is said here, Brahmatirikte vastu nijneyatvam apudhyate is negated. क्वचित कहीं कहीं तस्मिन्नेवा उसी में ब्रह्मणि तस्मिन्नेवा मीन्स उसी ब्रह्म में ज्ञातृत्वम अध्यारोप्य we do the adhyaropanam of jnatritvam as the one who knows. Jnatritvam, that trich means, knower known, that knowerness. Jnatritvam adhyaropya, having done the adhyaropanam of jnatritvam, jneyatvam apaknuyate, objectifiability is negated. Here jneyatvam means something that can be objectified and known. Jneyatvam means what? Objectifiability is negated. Jneyatvam is adhyaropanam. What is the result? There is no other jneyam. Jnatritvam is adhyaropanam. And what is the result? It is not jneyam. Here jneyam means what? Drishyamati. It is not something that is jneyam. It is not something that can be objectified and understood. Objectifiability is negated by saying that it is jnatritvam. Achittu sakshitvam adhyaropya jnatritvam api nirakriyate. Kvachittu, and at some place, sakshitvam adhyaropya, having done the adhyaropanam of sakshitvam upon the Atma, jnatritvam api nirakriyate. That jnatritvam means pramatritvam is nirakriyate, is negated. Matritvam means what? Whose jnanam depends upon pramanas. Pramanas, as the perceiver through the senses, one is a pramata. Even when we say jnata, it means the same thing. Because jnatri, jnana, jneya, jnana sadhanam has to be there. Therefore, that is also trich pratyaya. Therefore, jnatri shabda is nothing but pramatri shabda. Therefore, so when we say that Atma is Sakshi, Sakshitvam is Adhyaropanam. Sakshitvam is imposed, deliberately imposed. by the Shastra. And having imposed, taking the stand that it is Sakshi, it tells you that it is not Pramata. Taking the stand that it is Sakshi, it conveys that it is not Pramata. What does it mean? Its being the Drashta doesn't depend upon that. You are not listening. That it is the Drashta does not depend, that it is aware does not depend upon Pramanas, senses. Now, if this is followed, how can Vedanta be not understood? When you say Avastha, when you say Sakshi, Sakshi means what? The one who does not, whose knowledge doesn't depend upon Pramanas. The whole Avastha is known, Avastha Sabhava is known, Swapna is known, Swapna ka bhav be known, and the Abhava of the Jagrat and Swapna also is known. So Sakshi means what? Sushupti is what? See, to experience a deep sleep state, one doesn't require the senses. Therefore, Sushupti Anubhava doesn't depend upon the senses. Therefore, as the direct experiencer of the Jagrat and Swapna and their Abhava is what? Sakshi. If he is Sakshi, then his Jnanam doesn't depend upon Pramanas. Senses. And as the one whose knowledge does not depend upon the senses, how can he have negation? Sakshi can't, the existence of Sakshi can't have negation. The existence of the Sakshi has no negation because whose being the experiencer, whose being aware, whose being the experiencer does not depend upon the senses. The Sakshitvam Adhyaropya Vachit Jnatritvam api means that Jnatritvam you can underline and write, and Pramatritvam. Not a big deal. Pramatritvam. There is only Pramatritvam and Sakshitvam. You know what happened? That Jnatritvam is brought in there for a particular purpose. You know, somebody says, we'll go into it now, you can listen. Why this Jnatritvam? As a seer, I am Pramata. Hearer, taster, toucher, smeller, I am Pramata. But then as a rememberer, I don't use the senses. But a problem ho gaya na. To remember which sense organ to use. And to love, to hate, for emotions, to feel. So I don't use any Pramanas. Therefore, there we say, Jnatritvam. That is brought in there. And that is nothing but Pramatritvam anyway. The one who sees alone remembers. Pramata has the... But Pramata generally means as the one who uses the Pramanas. That is a rigid definition. The rigid definition of a Pramata is really the one who uses the Pramanas is called Pramata. What about the Smarta, rememberer? What about the feeler? What about the Sukhi, Dukhi? All these things come under? Okay, Jnana. But this Jnana is none other than Pramata anyway, independent of the Pramata. Thus, doing the Adhyaropanam of Sakshitvam, Shastram negates the Pramatritvam and Jnatritvam. Pramatritvam and Jnatritvam. Therefore, Sakshitvam is from which drishti? Adhyaropa drishtya Sakshi. Adhyaropadrishtya Sakshi. Therefore, the Adhyaropanam of Sakshitvam, what correction does it do? It also does the Apavada. It also does some correction. Apavada is simply correction. What does it do? The Adhyaropanam of Sakshitvam does the correction of Pramatritvam and Jnatritvam. We a sense perceiver is not our adjective. Okay, Jnatritvam api nirakriyate kvachit punaham Swarupameva apekshya neti netiti sakshittvamapi nirakriyate. Kvachit punaha, kahin again, some places, Swarupameva apeksha, keeping in view the Swarupam. Swarup ko man mein rakhe. Apeksha means what? Swarup ko man mein rakhe. Iksh dhatu, ikshitva, and left would be apeksha. Apa, iksha, apeksha. Apeksha means what? Keeping in view, Swarup ko man mein rakhe, Shastra kahati hai. Keeping in view the Swarupa. It is, what does it say? Apeksha. Sakshitvam api neti netiti. By that approach of neti neti, even Sakshitvam api nirakriyate. Even Sakshitvam is negated. See, Sakshitvam is again from Adhyaropana Drishti. Sakshitvam again is in relation to the avasthas. Understand, every Adhyaropana point of view is a relation. Shastra posits a relation, and the posited relation corrects an error. And that very posited relation also is ultimately negated. Therefore, Sakshitvam is what? It's a relation. It's a relation. Like Jnatru Jnaya is a relation. Pramatru Prameya is a Gauna Ekatvam, is a relation. Sakshi Sakshyam also is a relation. Minus the Sakshyam, not Sakshi. Avastha Traya Sakshi. So, again, Swarupameva Apekshya Neti Neti Iti Sakshitvam api Nirakriyate is corrected. And that is Apavada. That Sakshitvam also is negated. This is Apavada. And in order to correct what is Adhyarupitam by the Shastra, it doesn't do another Adhyarupitam. It only says it is free from. Able to follow. To correct the posited correlation, you do not posit another correlation. Without positing, when you say no, that is called netiti. Without positing another, say Atma is free from being Sakshi. That is netiti. It's not Sakshi. It is Advitiyam. When we say it is Sakshitvam, is gone. Now this is in Anubhava. You can see all that is there in Avidya. I am the Pramata. I am the Jnata. Again in relation to the Avasthas, I am the Sakshi. And taking into account the Sushupti Anubhava, objectively it is not a Sakshi. Sushupti from its own point of view, you don't experience deep sleep state as the witness of all the three states. It is experienced as the Advitiyam. Shruti is not experienced as the Sakshi of the three states. One doesn't experience oneself as the witness of the three states. In deep sleep, one does not experience oneself as the witness of the three states. It is free from three states. It is one without a second. There is nothing else. So Sushupti is not experienced as one of the three states. When it is on, when you are in Sushupti, it is not felt as one of the three states. It is free from the other. It is Advitiyam. Therefore, Swarupa is an Anubhava. Kalpita also is within Anubhava. Pramatritvam is felt, Jnatritvam is felt, Sakshitvam also is felt. Meaning Sakshitvam again is Kalpitam from the Avastha Drishti, from the Jagrat Drishti. When I look back at Sushupti and then connect it to the Avasthas, then I say, I am the Sakshi of the three states. But what is Swarupa? Advitiyam. In this manner, there is Abhavada of Sakshitvam also. Evam Vachit Vakyagamyatvam Angikritya Pratyakshadi Agamyatvam Bodhyate Vachittu Vang Manasayorapi Agocharatvam Swarupapekshaya Swikritya Vakyagamyatvam Manogamyatvam cha Nirakriyate. Evam, in this manner, Vachit, kahi, Vakyagamyatvam Angikritya. Angikritya means having accepted as something that is available for conveying through Vakya, Vedanta, that is Shabda Pramana Vakya. Truth is available for being conveyed through Vakya. So when we say it is Vakya Gamyam, it is Shabda Pramana Gamyam. So this Shabda Pramana Gamyatvam is Adhyaropanam. Shabda Pramana Gamyatvam is Adhyaropanam. Vachit Vakya Gamyatvam Angikritya Pratyakshadi Agamyatvam Bodhyate. What is conveyed is it is not available for Pratyakshadi Pramanas. It is true that it is Vakya Gamyam. It doesn't mean that is its Swarupa. Vakya Gamyatvam is not its Swarupa. If Vakya Gamyatvam is its Swarupa, then the truth should always stand related to Vakya. Like the object is Pramana Gamyam, Pratyaksha Pramana Gamyam. Ghata is, Chakshur Gamyam. Therefore, it always stands related to Chakshu. Prameyas always stand related to the Pramanas. Prameyas always stand because you can't think of their existence unrelated to the senses. You can't say here is an object unrelated to the senses. Therefore, just as the objects are Pratyaksha Pramana, Gamyam means always stand related to the senses. In that manner, if the Swarupam is Vakya Gamyam, then it should always stand related to Vakyam. But that's not the case. That's not the case. Therefore, what is Vakya Gamyatvam? That the Atma is available for Vakya Gamyam is Adhyaropanam. That's why you say Angikritya means Adhyaropya iti. Evam Kvachit Vakya Gamyatvam Angikritya Angikritya means adhyaropya. Then this adhyaropanam, that it is Shabda Pramanagamyam, would liberate man from the confusion that it is Pratyakshadi Pramanagamyam. Yes, it is Vakyagamyam. Its Vakyagamyatvam is not literally Vakyagamyam. It is Vakyagamyam in the sense that the Vakyam negates the error about it, not that it is illumined by Vakya. Vakyam doesn't make truth evident. If Vakyam can make truth evident, then the truth should always be, whenever it is evident only through Vakyam minus Vakyam, should be not evident. And therefore, truth is not Vakyagamyam. Truth is called Vakyagamyam, keeping in view the adhyasa about it, and the Vakya corrects the adhyasa, and therefore we say Atma is Vakyagamyam. And that it is Vakyagamyam corrects which adhyasa, which confusion, that it is Pramanagamyam. That it is Pramanagamyam. So when man begins to do vichara about the truth, when he makes the investigation, when he begins the search for the truth, he can think that it can be an object of senses. It can be something that can be reached through karma. All these things are there. Therefore, all that has to be. Education is what? Just really educating man that really what is it available for and what is it not available for. Therefore, pratyakshadi pramana avagamya is negated by the statement that it is Vakyagamya. Therefore, Vakyagamyatvam is Adhyaropanam. And that Adhyaropanam does the Apavada, meaning it does the Nirakaranam, it does the Abhagnava of Pramanagamyatvam. So, evam kvachit Vakyagamyatvam angikritya pratyakshadi agamyatvam. Pratyakshadi agamyatvam bodhyate. Agamyatvam means, it's not something that can be known through pratyaksha. That it is unknowability through pratyaksha. Bodhyate is conveyed. That the Atma cannot be conveyed through, that the Atma cannot be known through pratyakshadi pramanam. This point is conveyed by the Vakya which says that it is Shabda Pramana Gamyam. You see? Otherwise, how can one say it is Shabda is not, without seeing the difference between Shabda Pramanam and Pratyakshadi Pramanam? We can't really do anything about Vedanta. It is Shabda Pramana because it's not Pratyakshadi. Because what it is talking about is not available for Pratyakshadi Pramana. Therefore, Vakyagamyatvam angikritya Pratyakshadi agamyatvam bodhyate. Kvachittu, and at another place, Vag manasayorapi agocharatvam swarupapekshaya swikritya. Vang manasayorapi agocharatvam, that it is not available for thought and both. Swarupa apekshaya swikritya, keeping in view the Swarupa, then it is not available either for word or for thought. If it is not available for word and thought, then it doesn't have Vakyagamyatvam. So, it is Vakyagamyam, it is not Vakyagamyam, both. It is Vakyagamyam Adhyaropa Drishtya. It is not Vakyagamyam Swarupa Drishtya. This is what you have to learn. You have to think. It is Vakyagamyam Adhyaropana Drishtya. Adhyaropana Drishtiya means what? As a particular stand taken by the Shruti. And Adhyaropana Drishti is also understand keeping in view the fact that Atma is misunderstood. From that misunderstood point of view, it becomes Vakyagamyam. But Swarupataha, it is not Vakyagamyam. Its existence as Advitiyam doesn't depend upon any Vakyam. Vakyam corrects confusion about the Vastu. It doesn't add anything to the Vastu. Vakyam doesn't add anything to the Vastu, doesn't take away anything from the Vastu. Therefore, evam kvachid vakyagamyatvam angikritya pratyakshadi agamyatvam vochyate kvachittu vangmanasayorapi agocharatvam swarupapekshaya svikritya. Svikar karke. Svikritya means what? Having accepted. Having accepted what? Vangmanasayoho agocharatvam. Vangmanasayoho dono ka agocharatvam means it is not gochara, it is not a vishaya. Having accepted that it is not an object of word and thought from the point of view of Swarupa. Vakyagamyatvam as the topic of Vakyam and Manogamyatvam cha and as the topic of the mind, Nirakriyate is negated. So then it says it is not an object of the mind. Yes. It is not an object of the mind. Definitely. Swarupataha it is not. It cannot be objectified by the mind. Either can it be an object of the word. So yato vacho nivartante aprapya manasa saha is apavada. That is apavada. But then this apavada is done after the adhyaropana. What is the adhyaropana krama? The krama is first adhyaropanam, then apavada. What is the adhyaropanam? What does the Shruti say? Hey, it has to be understood through the mind, it has to be understood through Shabda Pramana, and it is understandable. This is what? Adhyaropanam. And then Swarupataha, it is yato vacho nivartante. That is also true. It is avastatraya sakshi. It is also not avastatraya sakshis. There are no avasthas. In this manner, supposing to begin with, a person looks at the apavad vakya. Yato vacho nivartante aprapya manasasa. Then what? So I can't understand because through mind I can't understand. Therefore through Shabda also I can't. Therefore why study Vedanta? Why use the mind? Hey, you are putting really the Kramakopa, you are doing Kramakopa. Because the same Shruti also says what? It has to be Manasa eva anudrashtavyam neha nanasti kinchana at another place. Hey, you have to know it through thinking. Right, wrong thinking has to be corrected through right thinking. Manasa eva anudrashtavyam. You have to know it through mind. You have to know it through the mind means what? Right vichara. Alone can remove wrong vichara. Manasa eva anudrashtavyam neha nanasti kinchana. What about that? So it itself says Manasa eva anudrashtavyam. Itself says you can't know it through the mind. Then there is something to understand. Same Shruti says, you can't say Shruti says you can't know the mind. Therefore leave it. But the same Shruti says you can know through the mind. So इसका मतलब कुछ है ना उसमें. Shruti says you can know the mind. Shruti also says you can't know the mind. What does it mean? See, adhyaropana drishtya manasa eva anudrashtavyam swarupataha. It is not an object of the mind. Its existence does not depend upon objectifiability or even understandability. From the adhyasa drishti, understandable. If there is no adhyasa, there is no need to understand. If there is no error, where is the question of understandable? Correcting the error is the way to understand what is misunderstood. Therefore, here he says, well, sir, evam swarupapekshya svikritya vakyagamyatvam manogamyatvam cha nirakriyate. evameva jagat karanatvam brahmani adhyarupya tasya karyatvam apaknuyate tataha karanatvam-api apaknutya swarupameva avedyate. Evameva, similarly, jagat karanatvam brahmani adhyarupya, having imposed the karanatvam in Brahma. So when the Shruti says Brahmani is Karanam, that Karanatvam is not the Swarupa. If Karanatvam is the Swarupa, then Karyatvam also would be Swarupa. Then there would be no again Karya-Karana Bhava. Problem ho jayenge. If it is Swarupa, if Karyam is its Swarupa, then Karanatvam also is Swarupa, then you can't negate the Karyam, you can't negate the Karanam, you can't negate any problem because my entire Sansara comes under Karyam. If Karanatvam is Swarupa, then Karyam becomes Swarupa, my Sansara becomes Swarupa. So recognizing my Sansara is the intrinsic nature of me is not a big accomplishment. My sorrow is intrinsic to my being is not a big unfoldment. That is how man thinks in avidya anyway. That needs to be corrected. And therefore, Karanatvam is from Karya Drishti, all right. From Karya Drishti, Karanam. Swarupa Drishtya, not Karanam. That's why Jagat Karanatvam Brahmani Adhyarupya, being the source of the creation, also is imposed on Brahma. Brahmani Adhyarupya, having imposed on Brahman, Tasya Karyatvam Apaknuyate. Brahman being the Karyam is negated. Tasya means Brahmanaha. Brahmanaha Karyatvam is negated. Brahman is not a part of creation. That the Brahmani is indeed a part of creation is negated by taking the stand that it is Jagat Karanam. Jagat Karanam means what? It is not Karyam. It is not Jagat. It is not a part of the universe. Therefore, even if you go all over the creation, you don't come across universe. It is all nothing but five elements. That it is not a part of the universe, that it is a part, the idea that it should be somewhere in the Srishti, God should be somewhere in the Srishti, this idea is negated by doing the Adhyaropanam, by taking the stand that Brahman is not Jagat, but Jagat Karanam. So Brahma being the Karanam negates Brahma being Karyam, the Jagat. That it is a part of the Jagat. Therefore, evameva Jagat Karanatvam Brahmani Adhyarupyatasya Karyatvam Apaknuyate. Tataha, thereafter, Karanatvam-api apaknutya. Then Karanatvam also having negated. Apaknutya. Swarupameva. Swarupam alone, free from Karya-Karana Bhava. Avedyate is conveyed. Vidit kiya jata hai. Avedyate, vidit kiya jata hai. Vedyate, vedyate, nich, avedyate. A is upasarga, avedyate, nich and yak. Avedyate. Is made known. Swarup alone is made known. Therefore, Karanatvam This adhyaropanam of karanatvam, what does it negate? That Brahman is a part of Jagat. Truth is a part of this creation, is one of the details of the creation. That Brahman is a part of the creation is negated. Is negated by saying it is Jagat Karanam. Now once it is Jagat Karanam, now where does one search for it? Where does one search for it? It is not Pratyaksha Pramana Gamyam. Now where does one search for it? It is not a part of Jagat. Where does one search for it? It is also not Jneyam, meaning Jnatri Vishayam, meaning it is not also emotions, etc. So he can't even search in his mind. He is not even really Jnatritvam, because he is Sakshi. He is not even Pramatritvam. Then where does one search for the truth? Not Pratyaksha Gamyam, not even Pratyaksha Pramana, not Jneyam, not even Jnatritvam. And then we also say it is not even Sakshyam. It is not even Sakshi. Where does one search for the truth? Therefore the search, as you enter Vedanta, the first casualty is the search. Searching in one's own mind also, imagining this is all. So as an individual waker, if he imagines something, it all comes under Jneyam. Thoughts. And I stand there as the Jnata, as an individual. But then this Jnatru Jneya, this thinker-thought relation itself collapses. What is the use of even collecting thoughts when the whole thinker-thought relation itself collapses? This very thinker-thought relationship collapses. This very identity of being a thinker collapses. This identity of being a rememberer collapses. In fact, even the Sakshi Saksha Bhava collapses in Sushupti. It is Kalpita from here, otherwise then collapse. Karya, every bhava collapses, and therefore, what is the use of searching? What is the use of searching? Therefore, as the Shuddhi unfolds exactly, where do they collapse? And then collapsing means what? What obtained? One has to look into aparoksha anubhava. What is the anubhava of Sushupti? That very anubhava has anuvritti in Jagrat. That very anubhava has anuvritti in Swapna ityadi. Thus, the whole vichara is only looking at oneself, not searching. There is no search there. Therefore, karanatvam apaknutya swarupamevapetyate panchakoshatmakatvam kramakramena adhyaropya purvapurvasya atmatvam nirakritya panchakoshatittatvam avagamaya sarvatvaitatittatvam vijñāpyate. This we will see in the next class. Thanks. In this manner, first, when a person begins the adhyayanam, he must know what is the Vedanta, what is the approach, what is the method, prakriya kya. What is the prakriya must be clear before he goes into adhyayana. Not that after all the adhyayanam is over, then you ask a question, what is the prakriya? So right in the beginning, the Adhyarop, Apavada, Nyaya, the whole Vedanta, whatever he is teaching, this is the Prakriya. It posits, it negates. It posits, it negates. It posits, it negates. And the negation of what it posits is also within Anubhava. Negation of all avidya kalpita relations and the negation of all the posited relationships also is within one's Anubhava. Clear? Thus, Adhyaropa Apavada Prakriya has to be, first the students have to be made clear, this is the Prakriya, sir. And for this Prakriya, which is the Pramanam? Shabda Pramanam. Therefore, Shabda becomes all important. Then you have your attitude towards Shabda. Then you don't take it, Vedanta as a Shabda Pramana, you don't take it lightly. It is Shabda Pramana means he is like in God's creation there are senses for the sense object. There is Shabda Pramanam to convey the truth of everything. And nor is it an evolution of many minds. Because many minds cannot really, the evolution of all minds, go on and bring about Shabda Pramana. Many eyes put together don't create ear. Many ears don't put together, don't evolve. Many eyes don't evolve into an ear or vice versa. Therefore, these what we call the ideas that we have inherited, certain speculations that we are told, about the Shastram, that's all academic things. These are all imaginations. That is because what is Pramanam is not understood. It is looked upon as another philosophy. Vedanta as another speculative philosophy. It is a constructed philosophy. It is a systematized philosophy. And many individuals have participated in it, have contributed in it. These things the student has to get over, then he can become a traditional Vidyanti, Vedanta Vidyanti, who is interested in Satyam. And he may take Bhiksha and live, but he is a sannyasi, he is a sadhu. And minus that, if you take it like a pop thing, some Vedanta, it talks about truth. Yeah. That way, every religion talks about truth, Vedanta also talks about truth, but it talks in a systematic way. But they talk it in a very haphazard way, but Vedanta talks in a systematic way. You see, in that manner. If you come like this, if these conclusions, then what Vedanta they, उसमें कुछ आनंद नहीं होता. ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. ओम शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Narayana.